Hello. Today we are at Little Pennsylvania Cemetery in Darbydale, Ohio. This cemetery is otherwise known as Woolyburger. It's named after a Bigfoot type creature that is seen around this area. This cemetery is over 150 years old. The earliest burial was 1811. Some of the paranormal activity that's seen here besides Bigfoot is lights are seen over the tombstones. And when you get close to them, they dart off into the woods. Whispers, crying, laughter, and screams are all heard from these woods and further back into the cemetery. There's been reports of a strange fog that comes over the cemetery with no reason or rhyme to it. And there are even shadow figures seen in the woods around here. One of the more unlikely stories that are told is a cult that is supposed to be here. And why they believe it's a cult is sometimes dried wax will be found on the tombstones. There's also reports that the cult's headquarters are back in the woods behind the cemetery, and it's a ghost house. It appears and disappears at will, and no one can ever get to it. And then there's another ghost house that's seen here. Across the road in the late 19th century was supposed to be a man with his family by the name of Willie Butcher. He was driven insane by the ghosts of the cemetery, and he used a knife to butcher his family. They say that after he did that, he also unalived himself. And then the neighbors burnt the house to the ground. Now there's no records, tax records, deeds, or census records to show that there was ever a family by the name of Butcher or a Willie Butcher living in this area. But those are all the paranormal, more than likely untrue stories that have been exaggerated through the decades. What we do know, though, is there has been crimes committed here. In 1957, 4 fishermen found the body of a 29-year-old mother from St. Louis. They were here fishing in the Big Darby Creek. They found the body wrapped in a towel and then stuffed in a feed sack. Later, it was found that her lived-in boyfriend had done it. She found out he was married to a woman in Columbus, and he killed her, and he drove her back here to Darbydale and threw her in. Back behind the cemetery, there is a pond. In 1979, 2 hunters found a body that was bound and stabbed to death. It was a car salesman from downtown Columbus. He was killed by 2 juveniles who just wanted to steal a Camaro Z28. And if those 2 stories of crime and murder were not enough for this little piece of ground, across the road, there's a turnaround spot. And a couple was abducted from the German village in 1981. Their abductor forced them to drive out here to Darbydale. As they were driving, he was hitting the female victim over the head with an iron bar. When they got here to the turnaround spot, the male victim jumped out of the car. He had a gun on him, and he shot and killed their abductor. It turned out their abductor was the male's employee, and he was to be married the next day. For such a nice, peaceful spot, this place has had a lot of crime, a lot of stories of paranormal activity. But here in the day, it is quiet.